9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Greetings and salutations. Happy Friday to everybody. You are on another edition of WWT Live. I am your councilman and I am spearheading today's episode, and we got a lot to talk about. It has been just a week of heat in the wrestling world. And if you have been watching since Monday, then you already know what I'm referring to. But we got a lot to talk about. From TNA, WWE to tonight's SmackDown, which is supposed to be very interesting. And of course, I'm not doing this by myself. I have my WWT siblings with me today. Well, at least three. One of them don't know how to get off of work on time and come be with us and stuff on these days, But we gonna let him slide anyway. But we have everything that is all elite. Stone Cold Courtney is in the building, and she and TK ain't the only one with silk presses out here just styling and profiling no more. Courtney,
I had to look up because it's Friday. Happy Friday. It has been a week. It has been an absolute week, and I'm just curious on what's going to happen with SmackDown tonight. We saw some clips from TNA last night. A certain ruler.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we're going to get into that today, of course. But also, I have my tag team partner here as well. And she is also going to be having the SmackDown watch along. As y'all know, it is Honey Night SmackDown. And you definitely don't want to miss it today because you already know. If you've been on the socials, we got a final boss arriving, and you do not want to miss the reactions of Honey when that music dropped. But as of right now, Honey is here with us on WWT Live. Honey, how are you doing on this Friday?
I am grooving and moving on this Friday. I smell what The Rock is cooking, and it smells pretty damn good. I also am hearing there's a certain tribal chief lurking and arriving. So I mean, I don't know what to expect. If this could just be a night dedicated to the bloodline and Wyatt Six, I'd be a happy camper.
Hey, you never know. We do know the Wyatt Six is lurking around. Haven't heard too much from him, just except a few of the clips. But with everything that's going around, we really don't know what's happening on SmackDown, but we are going to talk about that as well. Shout out to the folks that are in the chat. Real Talk T, glad to have you here, becoming a YouTube member. We appreciate that. Pachu Deshaun is in the building as well, saluting all of us here. Jeffrey, glad to have you here from the British Islands, as well as Eric Isaacs, man. Happy Friday to you. Our producer from the future, Mr. Dylan Matthews, a.k.a. DM Hunk, is here. Lewis Johnson, glad to have you. Easy Not, I don't know who made the potato salad, but they put raisins in it, and so I guess that's why they're not saying nothing today, okay? But there's raisins in the potato salad because we don't know what's going on. That's a little nobody.
My potato salad.
Hey, it's something's going on in the SmackDown potato salad, and we're going to go ahead and jump into it because like I said, when I'm running the ship, we do the SmackDown preview first, so that way our producer from the future got enough time to cut some clips, and he ain't got to be worried about us. Tonight, none of this may be happening. Just letting y'all know that now on tonight's SmackDown. We've heard a lot of things that some matches have been scrapped. A lot of changes are going on before Friday Night SmackDown happens, so we're just going off of what we've seen so far that's supposedly supposed to happen. We know that Jimmy Uso and Drew McIntyre are supposed to be going one-on-one, which I think is probably, if it's still happening, that's going to be one of the matches of the night. We also have the tag team titles on the line. DIY taking on Pretty Deadly for the tag team titles. Again, all of this is kind of like 1993. This is all to be determined because match cards change.
Yeah.
Of those posters. And we also supposedly are supposed to be having a 6-man tag match with returning Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and of course the tribal werewolf himself, Jacob Fatu, will be taking on Damian Priest, that big SOB himself, Braun Strowman, and the WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes is to be in action. Which also we're supposed to be having Naomi versus Liv Morgan tonight, but again, we're not sure what's happening with the card, but we do know
allegedly.
Yeah, all of this is allegedly, supposedly happening tonight. But we do know one thing that is scheduled to happen that has not changed. It has not been, nothing has changed about this announcement. And it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Came out of nowhere like an RKO, baby. Woo!
It's just like, woof.
I'm like, I'm sorry.
Finally, the final boss has returned to SmackDown, and he is returning tonight. Not only that, we saw a very cryptic video that just came out about maybe 15 minutes ago with a watch on the ground and a back landscape of New Orleans. And we know that WrestleMania in 2026 is headed to New Orleans. So, with all that being said, I want to throw something out there, and I will add. Well, first of all, how do y'all feel about the final boss returning to SmackDown? Let's start there first. I'm gonna start with Courtney, so we let Honey's excitement continue. Honey, Courtney, how do you feel about the final boss returning to SmackDown tonight?
This came out of nowhere on social. I really thought somebody pulled a joke because I was like, is he really coming? Or is it like the IWC pushing everybody's buttons? But it was on WWE's legit socials, and it's like, oh, he is coming. But also, it's very curious. He's coming during the road to WrestleMania. So we don't know what to expect from the final boss. It could be facing the tribal chief, possibly talking about next year's WrestleMania in New Orleans. But there was a little theory that I had right before I came on here because there are so many different angles. And somebody posted a question, who would be the person to interrupt The Rock? And one person came to mind was CM Punk. Because CM Punk apparently has a little bit of history of The Rock, and he has a certain favor from Paul Heyman. So in the past, he's made promos about The Rock, but I'll just leave it at that, and we shall see what the great one, the final boss, has to say on his show, SmackDown.
Yes, we will. Honey, I know the pot. I know the pot is boiling. The honey is boiling over the pot right now. How do you feel about the thoughts and feels on the final boss showing up tonight on SmackDown?
Thoughts and feels is basically, well, damn, I am so glad I'm here for Friday Night SmackDown because I know I've missed the last couple weeks, but I'm just so elated that something's happening. I love that feeling. It's giving me that fresh new feeling of something's happening and I don't know what, but okay, I'm with all the smoke. You know what I mean? And anything that has to do with the final boss. Also, the thoughts with as far as the watch in New Orleans. I mean, that can only mean one thing. He could be making an announcement as far as Mania goes for next year. Also, I think he's coming to ruin someone's life. And as far as CM Punk and Courtney's thoughts of as far as CM Punk being involved in these thoughts, I don't even think CM Punk should even go there because we know where that led to the last time. And there was no favor then, but that favor still might come in handy. But how, I'm not sure. But I'm just excited that we get to see the final boss tonight. I mean, you guys get to watch it here live with me. I'm so excited.
Yes, indeed. So now here's something I want to throw out. It's been floating around of course, what could be happening. And there are 5 conspiracies that I want to throw out. And I want to know from you two, as well as the people in the chat, what you think is the most realistic theory of why the final boss is showing up.
Who said we're upset?
I'm not
No,
upset.
we're upset that you're not here, Deonne. That's what we're upset about.
Yeah.
But you can always pop in late. But of course, you're a part of the American Nightmare Clan, so we don't know exactly, what you're.
Or the people's champ. I mean, I'm confused, but still, I mean, he's right here. I'm not sure why you're not.
The rules we know: if you can type, you can get on.
Uh-huh.
Throwing that out there. If you get type, you can get on. Is what it seems like. But I like being punctual. Well, Cody was late with his story and just popped out of nowhere. So you can always do the same. But let me give y'all these theories. So here's a number 5 theory of why the final boss is showing up. He is here to reveal that Solo Sikoa did it for The Rock and attacked Cody Rhodes as he returned back.
Man, stop it.
Oh man. Hey,
These are the theories. So I guess we're tossing that one out.
I mean, I do want to point this out. Solo wearing white is a little sus. I've been used to seeing him wearing black and red. He was wearing white last week when he returned.
So why is that sus to you?
I mean, not sus, but I just think that's something that we should pay attention to. You know, everything is in the details. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all about little details.
Yeah, pull the thread. Where do you think that's leading to?
I think we're on a different kind of journey with Solo Sikoa.
Okay.
I think Solo Sikoa is going to come down to some kind of era of his ways and realize that. But it's not gonna bode well because of Jacob Fatu running around. I feel like we could be going at a solo run with no ties to wanting to be called tribal chief or anything like that, because he already lost to Roman, he lost to Ulafala. Maybe he's on a path to redemption, and maybe we get Jacob versus Solo eventually, because Jacob is not going to be with that. Like he said, he's all gas and no brakes. Very and true. Solo, there was really not much. Solo couldn't even control Jacob at this point. You know what I mean? Jacob at this point is becoming bigger than Solo as we speak, week by week, as we've seen. Yeah. So, but yeah, okay. That's why it's a little sus to me.
Okay, I can see that. So here's the number 4 conspiracy theory about the final boss returning. The Rock returns so CM Punk can't main event WrestleMania.
Cue in the Walking Dead scene with Rick and Carl coming out after killing Lori.
Oh man. Oh no.
I mean, that would be Punk's point of view. You know what I mean? Like,
but do y'all feel like in that does that theory have any validation with everything that's going on? Would the final boss come just to do that to CM Punk again?
No. Well,
no.
I think Rock's problem is bigger than Punk.
Okay. Yeah. So then let me jump to number 3 then. Mm-hmm. The Rock comes to convince Jacob Fatu that he no longer needs Solo Sikoa.
Ooh, that could be
for some reason I like that.
Dylan, you gonna stop with this disrespect. I'm gonna talk about Australia for the next 30 minutes.
We had this discussion on Monday.
Dylan, don't do it. Dylan, don't do it. Don't do it, Dylan.
Please,
we'll wait.
Do it. There's just some lines you don't cross, and you tap dancing over the line right now. Okay.
Oh my God.
Right. Don't poke the bear, as they say.
Yes.
Lion or whatever. I'm all of them. Don't poke the hybrid. Okay.
No.
All I know. I'm sorry. As I was saying, Courtney, your thoughts.
I think that could be an interesting turn because we saw what happened last week between Jacob and Solo. So that could be a really interesting turn. And plus, we did see him at Bad Blood in that tag team match. So maybe a lot of behind the scenes work.
Because the last time we saw him was NXT.
Oh yeah, NXT.
Yeah. So maybe that is something. Now, here's the number 2 theory. The Rock finally challenges Roman Reigns to a match.
Mm.
Y'all know what I'm finna say. I was robbed. Y'all owe me this. So you damn right. That's what it should be. Because if my tribal chief is gonna be in the building tonight, I mean, but I'm not sure why Roman would be, because Roman's problem is with Seth, and Seth is on Raw. So
and technically Roman is on Raw. So that's the only reason why I would say
that's
that
true. Roman
might
is on Raw.
not work is because they're on Raw. But you know, anything from seeing, like, of course, I don't know. Again, we don't know if the match is still happening. We had Naomi versus Liv. So who's to say that it can't jump over for one night and Roman comes? So I don't want to completely knock it out. And the number 1 theory that everyone has, he announces next year's Mania, says something cryptic, then leaves. The way y'all both got quiet, as I said.
I don't want that to happen.
I really don't,
But
honestly.
I don't want that to happen, but you know what? It would make sense.
But
And it would make me want to like punch the writers in the face so bad. But I think like that's the fan in me. But from a perspective as a viewer, like watching a product, I understand it. Because this is what you do when you're Dwayne Johnson. You're attracting the masses in the world, and you're gonna make people watch. Like I'm not gonna lie. Looking back at it now, I was a little upset that he gave me that NXT stuff. I'm just like, okay, I'm not sure where we're going here, what it's supposed to be. The only thing I did enjoy was the backstage segment with Ethan Page and Ava, and when he was there with his daughter. Other than that, I was just like, I could have really done without this. You know what I mean? But I don't want.
I was there.
I don't want. Well, no, I get that. I understand, Kelsman. That of course. But if you're gonna come back and do something like that, then do it the same way that you've been doing it with Bad Blood. Just keep throwing a teaser on the way to WrestleMania or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, but he always does know what to say, and he knows how to give us that selling point. But any one of those theories would be awesome. I would any one of them would be good. I mean, maybe it's something that we're not even looking at.
No, it's definitely number 1. It's definitely number 1. After seeing the video he put out with New Orleans, that's definitely.
Oh well, yeah. And the casino. Did he put out a video with the movie Casino recently too? Or put out a video?
Yeah.
Well, that's for something else though. That's for that has to deal with the new movie that he's going to be doing with Martin Scorsese and Leonardo. So
yes.
Yeah. So studying is what he was trying to let people know, that he's been definitely studying for this role that he's about to partake in. But I think that's really what it is.
WrestleMania.
That he announces the WrestleMania in New Orleans, and maybe he might announce a match.
I mean, what was the thing where it said some? Whoa. It was like, Epiphany. But okay, I'm just gonna let Pat do his thing because he's probably fixing it. What if that, like, because then isn't there something that wasn't there like a tweet or something that he put out that he's coming to F someone's life up?
Could be. That's why I said it's and
just come back and screw Cody's life up. That's the one.
I mean, it may be that, or it may be Punk, or it may be Seth.
But who?
For double stomping Roman like that, like, yo, I'm gonna mess your life up.
Nah, Roman's gonna demolish
all of it can happen. And I think even announcing a match for next year, we've seen Rock do that. And it's not like it wasn't exciting when it happened. So if he was even come out and say WrestleMania in New Orleans, Rock versus Roman, like, that is still just gonna explode everything.
But come out and give me Final Boss Rock. Like,
it's like the Final Boss return.
No, of course. No, I get that. No, I get it. But not like, not like what he was doing on NXT. Like that wasn't the final boss. Like and the debut on Netflix and everything, Raw on Netflix. Like that wasn't the final boss. The final boss was beating Cody's ass, calling everybody crackhead Karens and meth head Marys and throwing concerts. Like,
Honey, that is the complexity of the final boss. The fact that that man is kingpin right now. Okay, look, there we go.
Oh,
hold on. No, we need to bring him in yet. No, I was gonna know.
Deonne, the people's nightmare is here.
Well,
See, I like to be punctual, but I was messaging on my way, and then, like you said, if I can type, I can get on here. So I rushed to get on here.
It's Deonne from At All Star Fandom.
Quite frankly, you need to go back to the drawing board because your game absolutely sucks.
There we go. Deonne, well then, since you have finally returned, wait, are you mute?
The whole episode's about this, right?
No, the whole episode is not about this. We have a lot to talk about. Okay, I want to get your thoughts on it because we do got to keep pushing forward because I want to make sure we get done within the next hour. So Honey can get ready for Friday Night SmackDown because again,
I can't, man.
Yeah,
this announcement alone, bro.
Yeah, we have no idea what's going on except that The Rock will be there. But your thoughts and feels on The Rock returning, and what could he possibly be returning to do?
Came completely out of left field. I don't think anybody saw this coming. This was not reported anywhere. I feel like we had that discussion about how last year's WrestleMania felt like just so unpredictable, so big. It was because of this guy right here, insert himself into the biggest main event or storyline in wrestling. And now we get him out of nowhere. Who could he encounter? He tweeted, he posted something just recently about like the watch and stuff, and it looked like may have been New Orleans, but no, I'm super excited for this one. I'm definitely watching SmackDown tonight. I don't know if it's at the beginning that he pops on or at the end or the middle. That's 3 hours is worth sitting through. And the fact that they may have given him 2 segments is what being reported. I mean, come on.
Well, all we can do is find out what's going to happen when SmackDown starts 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. You do not want to miss tonight's episode of SmackDown, and you definitely don't want to not watch SmackDown without watching it with Wrestling with Honey on Honey Night SmackDown. Right? It might as well be with a community and react with a community.
Yeah.
I like to think I know my ish, I'm pretty.
You know what I'm saying? You get to have Wrestling with Honey. You got Papa Honey that's gonna be popping in and stuff
and
like
SmackDown
that.
At 3, if there's 3 hours, y'all better not put no time limit on Dwayne. Y'all better let him rock on that mic for a little bit.
Well, it's on USA. They might give him an extra 5 minutes.
We gotta start that early.
I say he'll push for 10.
Just give him a whole lap.
USA normally throwing 5. They'd be like, okay, we'll let you rock.
3 hours.
Just give him the whole last hour. Just give him the whole last hour.
I mean, look, we don't know what this card is because apparently a lot of matches were scrapped. So
yeah,
we don't know what
I didn't even know what to think. I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to do Honey Pop predictions? I can't even predict The Rock is going to show up. He's just going to come in out of the blue. And I mean, I'm not mad at it. I'm definitely not mad at it. But I'm just like, all right, so what does this mean? But then again, SmackDown is 3 hours.
Now,
and where the hell is my Wyatt 6?
In the second DLC for WWE 2K25. That's where they'll be.
You know what? Speaking of which, let's talk about that for a second. WWE 2K25. Now, it is well on its way to getting here in the next couple of weeks. And of course, you have your regular version, you have the Dead Man Edition and the Bloodline Edition. And of course, with the women's roster that is so stacked, man, I cannot wait to play some of these ladies on here, like Lyra Valkyria, like of course my client Roxanne Perez, Zelina Vega, Tiffany Stratton. But if you were hoping to create a character that was going to don the Women's Intercontinental Championship or the Women's US Championship, you are going to be sadly disappointed. as we have learned that both of these titles will not be featured in WWE 2K25.
Really?
Yes. Wow. Now, what we're being told is that it will probably show up later in a DLC edition.
Yeah.
Later on within the game, but it will not be a part of the initial first rollout of WWE 2K25.
Speaking of Lyra Valkyria.
This video's so long, man.
Mayor, I promise I didn't bring her up just so she could play that when you popped up.
That video's so long, man.
That's a terrible transition.
Hey, said.
That's an awful transition. I don't know when I'm gonna delete that video, but I'm gonna give it until after WrestleMania. Like either y'all gonna delete it or I'm gonna delete it.
I don't I'll let you know now. I don't think they're gonna ever let you delete that.
He's gonna delete it when Lyra Valkyria loses the IC title.
Yeah.
That's probably when they go delete it. That's probably when they go to delete it. But just real quick, said your thoughts on the final boss appearing on tonight's SmackDown, as well as the news of 2K25 not initially having the women's mid-card titles.
I think the game was in early development, probably around this time last year. So it's natural for those titles to not be there, but it's like a two-edged sword. It's the best of both worlds. You'll love the game, and then all these downloadable content packs they start releasing, they're going to make money off that stuff because people are going to crave having those extra belts in the game and using them for different gameplay. As far as Dwayne coming to SmackDown tonight,
final boss.
I think it's clear that he's going to announce Mania in New Orleans next week, but with matches being scrapped, that's where you have to kind of think a little bit. I think he's all but confirmed in the social media in the comments. He's responding to comments that he's going to have a surprise for New Orleans, but the fact that Naomi and Liv got scrapped, the Bloodline match got scrapped. Remember, there's tension between Solo and Jacob, so they were in a tag team match tonight. That's gone. Mm-hmm. And then he posted the watch that Cody Rhodes gifted to him last year and shit like that. And if you look at Cody's post from like the beginning of the month showing all his tour dates, it shows February 21st, him drinking tequila with The Rock. So there's a lot of things you can read into it. I don't want to speculate too much because I don't want to say jump the gun and say he's just going to take a chamber spot and wrestle Cody Rhodes. I don't know. But it might lead into like more what he plans to do in New Orleans next year. Because that's a big, like, just like we love going to Vegas and how much like it's Sin City, it's WrestleMania. They've had some big WrestleManias in New Orleans too.
That's true.
Might be holding himself out for that. Remember, like we did the Miami thing, and personally, that's my favorite WrestleMania, the year-long build with Cena. If you give Dwayne that much time to build something over a year, you're just going to get so much great content for the next year. So I can't complain.
Cinema. That's what cinema.
Right. That's what I would need. Like if you're going to give me something with The Rock, that's kind of what I would have wanted if he didn't disappear, before he, went off on Cody. But I'm just like, I don't know. I'm intrigued.
I don't like the fan the flames of him actually stealing CM Punk's WrestleMania moments because, like, at some point you just have to fight me if that's like.
I just don't see him coming back for that. No. Like that's my only thing. I was like, and this is in no disrespect, but in a way of disrespect. Punk ain't worth you coming back for that. I'm just being honest. Like
it's either Roman or it's Cody.
Yeah, so
like
one or the other.
I'm not getting on a plane just to come disrespect you. Like I don't care who you are. Like you, love
main event.
Who's the money on then? Is it a year build with Cody or a year build with Roman?
Listen, man, y'all missing the biggest story.
Hell, Cody needs it.
It was the best rivalry last year, man, and we
missing all the details. See this is what's happening. It is going to be The Rock versus Joe Hendry. This is what the people need.
Oh my God.
This is what the world has been asking.
I need that.
This is what. Listen,
I need.
I'm saying his
how
name.
Small Joe Hendry be looking next to everybody else. You know how small he gonna look next to Dwayne.
Hey, listen, we're not tripping about height, okay? Listen,
I'm talking about just overall
I don't.
stature.
Regardless, I don't know if that's something I need.
He gonna look like Rey
I
Mysterio next to
need
Dwayne.
them
What
to
if-
right the wrongs of last year.
look
That's
how-
what I need.
Look how fast people change on their favorite stars. Wow.
That's not true.
She be holding up the pictures. Now
If
you
anything, I would love to see.
What if they have a
Because
guitar
we
battle?
said Joe Hendry and Cena. That's what we really said we want, right?
I
I
would
just
love
need
to see
to
The
see
Rock
this.
take on John at some point during this farewell tour.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
I hope
definitely
that's something to do with that.
no. I think that's gonna happen at Survivor Series. I think that's gonna happen at Survivor Series, and I would not be mad if that was both of their last. If that was the Rock's two, is him versus Cena. I
And
think.
where he started and with Cena, that would be dope.
Yeah, but I know we got
Mhm.
WrestleMania next year coming, so I know it won't be his last one, but I would love to see them at Survivor Series. But again, y'all got to check in tonight on SmackDown. We go ahead and keep it pushing because, like I said, it was a lot of heat this week across all wrestling platforms. Well, maybe except one. Y'all know which one I'm talking about, and it's on Wednesday. But the highlight of that episode.
Oh shit!
It's right. It's right next to me. That was the highlight of Wednesday.
That's right, Courtney.
But TNA came out here just, as my uncle liked to say, came and put their thing on the table in front of everybody. Yeah, that's my uncle saying, and he's has said that in church for some reason. Don't know why, but so much happened on TNA this yesterday, and let's start off with the newest signees. Primo and Epico have signed with TNA, and they say they are here for business. Now, thoughts on the Cologne signing into TNA and what this could potentially do now also with the crossover of NXT. Mayor, we ain't seen you in a minute. Let's start with you.
I like it. They've always been a solid tag team. And I feel like they've never really got their just due for as long as they've been around. So if anything, it adds another veteran tag team to your division. With the TNA partnership, I think we're starting to see those big stars cross over, and then it's more even crossover because like people are going to TNA as well, like seeing Oba go to TNA, Moose come to NXT. I think we'll see more of that as we get towards the bigger shows. But I mean, with the announcement of NQCC challenging the Hardys, you might see more of that because I see Fraxium without contenders right now. Mm-hmm. Who's to say the Colognes don't throw that challenge out since we're already seeing the crossover on the other side?
Very true. Deonne, your thoughts on the Colognes showing up to TNA?
No, very similar to what said. Got a veteran team coming in to TNA. I mean, just the fact we're talking like TNA big time like this year already is wild. But it's shoring up that tag team division too. Like said, I'm gonna echo a lot of what he said. There's no more contenders for Fraxium. Once they beat the Hardys, who else is there to beat, man? So let's give them the Colognes. Let's work them into a few stories. Let's work them into a few matches. I mean, yeah, they're a little older, but that veteran instinct never leaves. And they're gonna probably help out that tag team division a lot, especially like those up and coming ones that are in the back too. So be able to pick those brains throughout the time that you're there, and then this whole crossover with NXT. I mean, it seems like there's something happening every week now. So, or somebody's jumping ship or crossing over, or going through some in-game portal to another place. And this is where we are this week.
Yes, we are. Honey, thoughts on a potential match of the Colognes and your favorite tag team, Fraxium?
The best tag team in NXT history.
Best tag team, yes.
In NXT.
Man.
I mean,
10 months. They had the title for 10 months.
I mean, listen, it's a conversation to be had.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
Absolutely not. I'm
greatest
actually
has you got to have multiple title reigns now. We can't apply the Roman theory everywhere.
Oh, come on now.
No, right. I agree.
They up there. We can't say they not.
10 months is usually like 3 title reigns.
And especially for NXT?
Yeah.
You're forgetting, like, you're talking about Fraxium, like, Jason Jordan and Gable never existed. DIY, Imperium.
Imperium.
No, I was like DIY, man.
I'm talking about NXT,
like
the undisputed era.
They're already better to watch than DIY.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, you talk about greats of all time. I got to go to UE off top. Any two of the four, like they've held the belt so many times.
I mean, that's again not saying they not in that top 5, but we can't act like
okay. If you tell me top 5, but I'm not. They not 3. They're not in the top 3 yet. But you give me, I'll do top 5.
Ooh. Give me who's okay. So we know DIY undisputed. Who's third?
Damn, who?
What's the boys?
I'm thinking
over in AEW
NXT.
now.
I want to say the Revival.
Yeah.
Yes, the Revival.
Yeah, that's another one who had some strength.
That's about right.
But they had great matches with Jason Jordan and Gable. With
American Alpha.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna be honest. Fraxium matches are way better than that. If I'm just being honest,
it's like watching Here Comes the Pain.
And NXT,
like
and a lot of people don't know War Raiders the way we know War Raiders. War Raiders and NXT Black and Gold NXT were a whole nother animal.
Street Profits.
And AOP.
Street Profits.
Yes, Authors of Pain. But again, it's a conversation to be.
MSK 2 times like that. I beat this dead horse all the time. They should be 3 times, but they were 2 times.
Yeah. But your thoughts on a potential match between the Colognes and Fraxium?
Oh, okay. Yeah, before Deonne wanted to open a can of worms. I mean, don't forget that tomorrow is Saturday. I hope just don't forget.
Oh boy,
Saturday is gonna be a beautiful day.
Yeah, we also gonna talk about that after. I ain't gonna do that to you on live. But
no,
you got after class.
Okay, sure. But my thoughts on Fraxium and the Colognes. I think it's smart. You like Deonne and Ced's points where that you need somebody in to work them into a story just to keep them in the loop to eventually get to the Hardys, because that's pretty much where it's gonna go. But I think it's awesome for the Colognes. They're honestly a tag team that I shouldn't even say it like this, but I can't believe when we think of great tag teams or entertaining tag teams, I don't think their names really come up enough because they have put in a lot of work.
You right about that.
Yeah.
Who the Ascension during NXT?
That was fun. Those were good times. But I think it's a great idea. I think it's going to be awesome, and it's good to see the Colognes, man, and they look great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now, Courtney, I want to ask you a different question because we want to talk about something else that happened on TNA. Something I don't think any of us saw coming, but apparently TNA is ready to walk with a certain superstar now, and he goes by Elijah. Elijah made his debut into TNA during and had a concert almost.
Oh my God!
Championship. Now, Courtney, I just want to know: Ricky Saint, Elijah, a couple other stars that we're also going to talk about. As the representative of AEW, how are you feeling about this? Because recently, all of us were under the assumption that he was going to be all elite.
Hey, wasn't he in all white with group, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Ring of Honor.
Yeah. And now, not only is he in TNA, but now still kind of back in the fold. Yes, as well, Dylan Vaudevilles, yeah. Is back in the fold still with WWE. So, thoughts as an AEW correspondent, your thoughts on seeing this last night on TNA?
This was actually a surprise because I didn't expect him to show up at TNA last night, interrupting Joe Hendry. And, I'm trying to put in from the business side and branding side, because we don't know what happens backdoors, especially when it comes to contracts and whatever happens backstage. And God forbid something did happen backstage. Maybe the deal wasn't there and maybe he wanted to go back to TNA and there was something of an appeal. But I am happy to see Elijah back in TNA, especially Oh God, Dylan.
That's funny.
I mean, that is pretty funny. I have to admit that is
That's
really
good.
funny. That is really funny. But just seeing Elijah challenging Joe Hendry and possibly be his next future contender, that is wild. But I mean, look, I said what I had to say after what happened with Ricky. They got to focus on their pillars. I mean, that's something that they have to do. And this is going to be the hard lessons that they're going to have to learn. And if you do not have anybody that's ready to have those uncomfortable conversations, give it to somebody that is willing to say it to the office.
Very true. Cedric, let me ask you, with Elijah now challenging Joe Hendry and being in TNA, do you think being here, he finally gets to have that stardom that we all started to see with him, but never really got the shine in WWE? Do we get to see that within this new version of him in TNA finally?
Absolutely. I think he'll be able to really show his creativity, because he had a lot of start and stop pushes. Like, it killed his momentum. Fans were behind him. They were selling merch, but then they never really strapped him up. And he had so many different rivalries and storylines. But I think here is where you can finally see what the character was fully supposed to be, fully matured. And he has range. I mean, he did the Ezekiel stuff. This is obviously his third brother. And I mean,
he stole it from me, Sid. Stole it from me. That was
Elias to Elijah has to be the greatest name transition ever, because it just rolls off the tongue the same way.
It does.
Like, it's so simple. It's like I don't mind Ricky Saints, but it takes getting used to. Elijah is just I feel like nothing changed.
Who's ready to walk with Elijah?
It still works.
It just still works. Yeah. Deonne, how do you feel about him going into TNA? We have seen so many superstars like a Drew McIntyre, like a Bobby Lashley, go in and really be able to thrive. But also with this NXT crossover, do you see a potential crossover working into NXT with Elijah? And if so, who would you like to see him work with?
over at
NXT?
Yeah, because this sort of naturally fits. Like, he'll get the push, because when we're talking about how it was back then for McIntyre, like you said, that NXT partnership wasn't a thing. Now you have that possibility of him Fandango popped up on NXT a few weeks ago, man. Like, the idea of these superstars not crossing over anymore, or not crossing over as much this year, it's gonna be big. But if I want to see him up against somebody, on that NXT roster, you know what? Let's put Trick with it, man. I wouldn't mind seeing Elijah, versus this sort of Trick Williams with a little bit more of an edge, I guess. So let's make it work. They can make it work.
It got to be a Don.
I was just gonna say it needs to be the Don.
Just because family got to try to go through all three of them.
The Don stayed away.
They got to kill each version: Elijah, Elias, and Ezekiel, and just be frustrated every time.
That would be okay. Yeah, we doing Mick Foley duty. Oh, that'd be great.
Oh my god,
that would be great.
Faces of Elijah.
Yeah, that would be great. All three of them got a concert going. I am here for that. But good to see Elijah on TV. I think it got a lot of great opportunities there. So it's good to see, and I just really hope that he gets that shine and that they take care of him here to be able, and he makes his way back to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. But now KO is looking.
I need that segment too. Like, if just Kevin Owens go to NXT for whatever reason and he just be backstage. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I would love that. Now, we also know that TNA's Sacrifice PLE is coming up March 14th. And we already got a couple of matches that we're seeing, which is going to be the Rascals and Ace Austin versus Wesley and TNT's Tyson DuPont and Tyreek, whatever how you say his last name. Yeah, there you go. Y'all not getting me canceled. Quick thoughts on this, Courtney, with this match. We've seen the feud. How are you feeling about this match being on the TNA card, and who do you think will pull out as the victor?
This is going to be a pretty interesting because we already know Zach and Wes know each other very well from that. I don't want to say forgotten rivalry that they had, which is a little bit insane, but
Yeah, you could say it.
I mean,
Shame on you, Hickenbottom.
Okay, well, I'm really happy with this one, especially it kind of continues the bond with the TNA and NXT crossover and seeing a lot of NXT stars appearing on TNA pay-per-views. But if I had to pick with either one, I would give the win to Wesley's team within NXT.
Gotcha. And also, breaking news: Tiffany Stratton will be taking on Candice LeRae tonight. Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre is still officially a go. Jimmy Uso, excuse me, sorry. And the tag team titles will still be up for defense again with Pretty Deadly. Nice. Honey, who do you see pulling out the victor in this match?
I think I might have to agree with Courtney because I'm sure Wesley has not forgotten, everything that had transpired with him and Zach and how everything's fell out. Wait, did he lose? No, he didn't lose. Or am I confused? I might have been confusing myself. But
wait, who lost?
Wesley and Zach.
They're 1-1.
Did Zach beat him?
Yeah, they're 1-1.
Zach 1-1. Okay, so yeah, I feel like that's just gonna be the song that never ends with them. But I do think that Tyson and Tyreek have very big potential, and this is just more so about working with veterans and the Rascals, and Ace Austin is something special too. So this match is definitely going to be probably match of the night. Could be Wesley and them.
Okay.
Tyson and Tyreek.
Mayor, your thoughts? Who's winning?
I don't care.
Thank you.
Wait.
Nobody cares.
They didn't turn Wesley heel just to make him a Tyler Perry character. He has fallen so far.
Are we for?
Did not say.
They didn't cut that man's hair, gave him blonde highlights, and we still just waiting on what's next. It's terrible.
Okay, I got a question. Does he look? This kind of looks dope with him as a maybe leader of a group.
What are they doing though?
But no, let's just think about it. Let's say
backstage with two big brothers doing nothing.
Let's say this is a start. Let's say this is a start. I just looking eyeballing this graphic. I can get down with that crew, man.
Nah, because Wesley didn't get slapped in the mouth too many times on Tuesday night for me to
accept. That's why you form a group.
No, I'm sorry.
That's why gangs exist.
No, I'm sorry. You don't have your tag team right there and get slapped like Trick Williams did. And the fact that hanger was the highlight of that whole video.
Because that just happened with Ricky too. So it's like, what kind of leader? This is very D'Angelo-esque. You just getting your ass whooped in front of the family.
Yeah,
it's just happening periodically. And then the promo I saw with Trey Miguel, I'm sorry, Courtney. It was very Ricochet. That's pre-Ricochet, what he's doing now, where it's like, I don't believe you. The promo he just cut. But I think the match will be exciting itself just because they know each other well, they work with each other. But like the rivalry itself, it's like there's not much build to it outside of what we saw months ago. So how do we heat it back up?
I feel the same way. I don't care. Deonne, though, who do you feel?
I'm looking forward to it, man. But I don't know.
Yes.
This affects your Tuesday nights.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bleach blonde.
God, Dylan.
And the bleach blonde, you out here just looking like light-skinned Simon Phoenix from Demolition Man. It's like, bro, pick a hairstyle and stick with it. Like, just do something.
It's like we thought he was going to be in the main event scene. It's like,
no. Give it some time, man. Like Oba has that title right now. That's going to be a tough title to get off of him.
My problem is that MSK and Rascals for Trios work was right there.
Right there.
You didn't have to do nothing else but just copy paste. Like,
they could have given matches, like
Mhm.
matches, yo. And they just, we want to make Wesley heel. Again, it didn't work. Like
That's what we call
Breakker,
a flop.
Braun Breaker worked perfectly. Carmelo Hayes worked perfectly.
Yeah.
This one did not. This
Was
one
he
did.
too big of a fan favorite to be a
Yes,
a
he
heel?
he broke his back, and everybody wanted to see him wrestle again. He finally comes back. Everybody loves that he's actually working again. Just to like do that within like the first couple months, it's like whoa.
Yeah. Even the cuts in the eyebrows don't make me believe that you.
I didn't even notice that till you pointed
Well,
it
yeah,
out.
Yeah, it's like
You're killing
bro,
the guy, man.
stop. Like, stop.
Awesome.
Like, what's
Get
that?
off it,
It's
man.
like, this ain't you, brother. This ain't you. And they can tell it ain't you.
You are not mean. You sign autographs at the airport at 5 a.m. I know you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my god.
But one of the matches that I'm looking forward to also is Sacrifice. We're finally getting the TNA Knockouts World Championship on the line. Master Slamovich taking on Cora Jade. Quick thoughts, Deonne. Who's walking out the TNA Knockouts World Champion in this match?
I mean, it'd be great if Cora Jade could get a W in something. So I'm I'm sorry.
That's wild.
I just think so I'm picking her for this match. Y'all didn't let me finish. Y'all jumped on me. Y'all just jumped on me and held me down, man. That's who I have winning this match. Let's shake it up in TNA and NXT.
Councilman's and stitches.
That's just the way he said it.
Is my tone was my tone off? Like, what was the?
Oh, he said she got to win it. Something, right? Mayor, who's walking out the TNA Knockouts champion?
Cora wins in fashion, in my eyes. But somebody just made a good point. Masha just won the title. I think it's just getting eyes on the TNA Knockouts title more. And she's the person to do that with the whole Generation of J thing. Outside of her cheating to win, I don't see her winning it. At least not this first go around.
Okay. Honey, your thoughts. Who walks out as the TNA Knockouts World Champion?
Masha Slamovich. Cora J got more work to do in NXT. That's the easiest answer.
All right. Courtney, your thoughts?
Cora has improved wrestling wise, but I'm going with Masha Slamovich because there is a woman on deck that Masha wants to get her hands on.
We don't talk about
I'm not going to do that, but I'm just saying there is somebody that Masha wants, so I'm picking Masha Slamovich.
I'm picking Cora for that exact reason. Go mess with her without the title. Go do that somewhere else. I would like Cora. I think Cora Jade should be able to pick this up, and I think it would serve her better to be in TNA for a stint rather than remaining in NXT and waiting for the Julia train to finish, then the Stephanie Vakura train to finish, or then just going up and never getting a title.
Can you think of like how many people's like stardom and pushes have taken a hit just because the three of them are there now? Like it was already there, but now with Jordan there, it's like everybody got to kind of take a back seat, at least for the next, at least until after Stand and Deliver.
Hell, even NXT women's champion is got to worry about her front seat with Stephanie right behind her taking her heat. But we ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole.
No. Y'all gonna stop doing
that. Hey, listen, facts don't lie. Facts don't lie. Okay, that's all I'm saying. We know
the crowd is really there for Stephanie Vakura every time she's on the screen.
And all I said was this: you don't rarely see Julie, and when you do, she's coming out for Stephanie. Very odd that she is not the focal point in the women's division, but that's just me.
I wonder if they could ever. You guys think we're heading towards champ versus champ, and we get our first champ at Stand and Deliver?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Women's champ. I mean,
yeah, yep. We're giving somebody the Keith Lee moment, but technically it could be for Jordan Grace because Jordan Grace has her eye on both of them.
That's what I'm saying. I think it could be a triple threat with all three of them because I don't think any of them need much time in NXT past the summer.
Was Keith Lee's match a triple threat? Wasn't it a triple threat?
No, it was between him and Carrion and Great American Bash. It was just
Okay. Yeah.
But again, not only do we see her as double champ, we may see this man as double champ. And I just go back to New Year's Evil, where him and Julia were standing on top for the new era of NXT. And I could definitely see this happening again at Stand and Deliver as Obafemi invaded TNA. And I just want to leave this image right here.
Not on my bingo card.
The Hardy Boys in the same ring together.
Wild.
And if the wrestling gods didn't want to bless us with just this, they were just like, oh no. This is the appetizer. We're gonna give you the second course as next week. Obafemi and the Hardys take on the system in triple threat action on TNA. And I only got one word that described this.
It's meat.
Quick thoughts on everything that happened with this and leading now into this match. Honey, let's start with you. Just thoughts on this image alone.
I'm just happy to be a wrestling fan. That's it.
Well put.
I'm just happy that, you know, when you manifest things and you say things with intention and you speak to the universe will talk right back to you. And I'm just happy.
And you know what they're saying?
Meat.
Saying. Deonne, your thoughts on Obafemi invading and leading up to this match next Thursday on Impact.
This is fast. Like, this is faster than I ever thought it. Like, once Moose showed up the other night, I was like, all right, we'll get a retaliation. Oba show up the next time. But the fact that we're like, all right, forget all that. Next week, we're gonna put them in a 6-man. That's super fast out of nowhere. I don't know how much like Moose versus Oba will get, you know, but I think this is a good tease for that moment when we really get it at like Stand and Deliver. You'll have the face off again with them in the ring. Crowd will go crazy for it. You might not get anything from it, but it's just like that little toe in the water, man. Like, okay, we're good we're good to move forward with this, but this was quicker than I thought. But nobody's pulling punches right now, man. Like, it's like, let's put these type of matches, let's put these type of rivalries, let's mix up all the rosters and see what happens. And I'm like, honey, man, I'm enjoying this. Like, but again, did not expect it to be next week.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Moose will be pulling double duty that week as on NXT. He will be defending the X Division Championship against Lexus King.
See that too.
So, but Mayor, let me get your thoughts. NXT champion now on TNA, leading into the 6-man tag match. I know we've always talked about TNA needing W's, trying to make sure that this crossover partnership is working well. How do you feel now about it after seeing what we're seeing now?
I think they pulled the trigger at the right time. And to be honest, that's the first time I think I've seen Oba's face look visibly shook. So great character work by him, because he pulled up on Moose 2 business days later. So it shows that he takes the threat very seriously. So I think they're building it the right way. And like I put in the chat, once upon a time, they were saying Moose should go NXT, whatever, with the partnership. And he said it was beneath him. He wants to go to Raw or SmackDown. So I think there has to be some type of big deal in place if they ever do this match. Like, I think it's something where Moose might go over if we ever get there, champion versus champion. But the way they're building it, and it might not even happen at Stand and Deliver, they're doing it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know what, looking back on the comments that Moose made about going to NXT because he thought it was beneath him, I think that what he initially meant, now thinking about it, is that not that it was beneath him, but that he felt like there wasn't someone worthy enough for him to make that move to step over. And then Q and Oba, and then we have this. I feel like maybe we might have taken, or the internet wrestling community or the world might have taken those kind of words out of context, because you can't say things like that and then you end up showing up. That's kind of like a little weird and hypocritical, but I'm just glad we're here, like I said.
Or they made him an
but I was
offer
just
he couldn't
thinking,
turn down. It was like,
I was like,
all this.
Yeah.
I was like, either way, it's still hypocritical, because you said the word beneath you is still one of those like,
Like, I don't know about that when you got the greatest women's roster on that same brand. So
yeah, but he's not wrestling women.
No, he's not.
We're talking about the men's division now.
Men's
but
division
also
is getting a huge facelift now too. You can see it
big time
every week.
Big time.
And but the mayor has a point. Not gonna lie. This dude got WrestleMania match written all over it. And this could surpass Stand and Deliver, because I would not be mad not seeing him defend that Stand and Deliver and let the women close out.
Let him defend at WrestleMania.
I mean, but again, like how they're building it right now and how everybody's behind it, maybe,
Yeah.
Just maybe. I like that the possibilities are there and that it just keeps growing. So, Courtney, before we move on, let me just get your thoughts on this and seeing Obafemi with the Hardy Boys. Your thoughts on this?
Cinema.
Pull that clip because it's just never would have thought the Ruler teaming up with the Hardy Boys.
Man,
it's just There'll
be a lot of this and
now I gotta watch TNA next week. I gotta watch. I gotta watch
doing that. That'd be great.
I know. It's like I kind of need to watch TNA next week. I have to watch Impact next Thursday.
Yeah, so y'all got to make sure if you can get to Access or I believe they're on the TNA app as well. This is one of those times to get it, because you do not want to miss matches like this. TNA, NXT, all of wrestling is cooking up into Honey's point. It has never been a more incredible time to be a wrestling fan. They are booking stuff straight out of a video game right now, and you love to see it. Now, speaking of which, that's not the same way. I don't know why I said speaking of which, because it's not. Moving on. Why? Whatever that boy name is, he got a contract now with WWE.
Brock Rex Steiner.
Yes.
And we just talked about so much good stuff. I was like, I should have started with this.
Yeah, baby, Big Papa Pump.
Hey, when he ever comes to the roster, or whatever, Jordan gonna have to give up them sirens.
That's true.
That's true.
Hey, listen. Them sirens gonna have to go.
Well, Brian's gonna have to give up his whole move set.
Nah, that's Steiner sirens right there. Them Steiner moves, so you gotta do it. But he is definitely making his footsteps closer towards the WWE, as he has just signed a contract deal with them for WWE's NIL league. So I just want to get y'all thoughts on Baby Papa Pump making it steps closer into the WWE. Do we get Braun Breaker level, or do we see something on a different path like Alexis King? Deonne, your thoughts?
Man, that's tough, because look what Braun's doing now, and even when he stepped right into NXT. But I'm not gonna it's something about those Steiners, man. I'm never gonna bet against them, and especially this being Scott's son. And again, big shoes to fill there. But I think this kid's an athlete, and just like his brother and his uncle. But from an impact standpoint, we have to wait and see, man. This NIL deal real quick. And he's like, what is a freshman, sophomore in college? Like somewhere around there.
And he is something to deal with on the field too.
Yeah. So I mean, Brian played over at Kennesaw State. So I mean, they're all athletes. They'll all be able to pull off wrestling. It's just like, what's that impact going to be? We have to wait and see about that. But they're protecting Braun, so I would expect they do the same thing for him too. Protecting and guiding him, so I would expect they do the same thing.
Dylan just all now I can see
Dylan's been on one all week.
Funny.
I can't. Honey, let me ask you. I'm going to ask you the question that Boza posed. Do you think he'd have been given this NIL contract if he didn't have the last name Steiner?
See, that's a fine line because, we could sit here, say nepotism, et cetera, but I mean, if the opportunity is presented to them and they are a great athlete, like, it's not unfamiliar but unknown to us that a lot of superstars or WWE superstars were once former athletes. So, I mean, it's only kind of like like not really fated or destiny, but it's more like of an inevitable route, especially with a last name of someone who made an impact in the wrestling business. But because a lot of things, it's always not what you know, it's who you know. But with wrestling, it is definitely what you know and who you know. So, I mean, I think regardless of the last name, I think he would still been given a contract. It's just about what he does with it.
Yep.
I'm really hoping. I really have high hopes for the kid because he's amazing in Jackson State.
Oh yeah. Courtney, your thoughts on this contract signing with Baby Papa Pump?
I think this is a good opportunity, and especially what Deonne mentioned is kind of like a wait and see to see where he goes. Because I'm very curious on how the road is, and also if the opportunity is there, I would just take it and roll with it. So it's pretty much a wait and see on what he's going to do, and I'm very curious on the journey he's going to be on. And I wouldn't mind seeing him be on that Braun Breaker type of level, but it's just a wait and see.
All right. Mary, your thoughts?
I think it just makes sense. I mean, I don't think anybody foreshadowed Braun being the type of athlete that he was, and he pulls out all of Scott's old stuff. Scott was the athlete in that tag team in the late 80s and 90s. So naturally, I'm pretty sure as kids, they watch both their fathers or maybe even traveled with their fathers to some of their wrestling shows, things like that. So it's something in the genetics. So I wouldn't write off anything yet. And the Performance Center, as we've seen, has literally molded college athletes into what they want them to be. So why not take somebody that has the background, the pedigree, and knows the industry from their family as well?
Yeah.
He's 6'2", 225 right now.
Wow.
I will say
redshirt senior.
I will say it as simply as this. Yes, you can have a last name, but like to Mayor's point, it's all in genetics. And the biggest ones you can look at the Anawai family. You got people in there who didn't even think they were going to be wrestlers, like Jacob Fatu, and now look where he is now. Zilla, who also did not look to go into wrestling, and they decided to make him go. Look at it. It really is in the DNA. It's in the work ethic, and it is what you decide to push. So even as much as you having the last name, it's up to you to carry it. And you've seen that a lot of these next generations that have come from these legends know that if I'm going in there, I have to bring it. And I have to do something with this because of the fact I'm going to be looked at like that. And I have to be able to get that weight off of my shoulders. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen with him in the near future, like himself, like Mark Henry's son, even Evander Holt.
Oh, yeah.
LFG right now.
But Braun didn't run no 4.340. I'm not letting SmackDown get away with that. That didn't happen.
Nah, I wouldn't look that up too. I was like, don't do that. I was like, okay. The character, we'll say the character.
There's no tape on this. There's no stat line.
No tape. He's not 4.3 fast. No. He would not be wrestling if he was 4.3.
Not at all. And you for damn sure wouldn't be sparing people like that.
Because what was he? He was a linebacker, Kennesaw State, right?
He's fullback.
Fullback? Was he?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Like he's fast. Don't get me wrong. He's
4.340.
He might not have been close. He might have been close to that 4.3.
Oh, he would have got a contract somewhere.
Yeah, you wouldn't have came to WWE. I tell you that now. You would have had bank already. But
what's this?
The graphic is hilarious.
This is what happens when you don't read the call sheet.
I was gonna say let's just don't and say we did.
I found out something very interesting. Now, again, we're now living in the age where we're in, I would say, maybe brighter days. days for wrestlers backstage, creative, so on and so forth.
I'm wondering where this is going.
It's like a game show host.
Yeah, I just could not shake bringing this up of the craziness that Mr. McMahon comes up with when it comes to creative. Now we've seen the Mark Henry, Mae Young hand birth to just all kind of other crazy antics.
I'm dreading this.
But what I found out was there was a particular storyline in the 2022 Royal Rumble that Vince McMahon wanted to go with. And the idea he pitched is that Ronda Rousey was going to eliminate all 29 entrants in the Women's Royal Rumble and win and go on to headline WrestleMania. This was like the number one thing he wanted to run with for the 2022 Royal Rumble.
You know how pissed off people would have been like midway when you finally caught on that it was going to happen, and you just waiting to see like, ain't no fucking way.
But that's the year she still won it, right?
Yeah.
But she came out last, I think.
She came out last because she had made her return, basically. I think the look on Honey's face just lets it.
This is bullshit.
I'm more on
Off is the direction you can fuck.
More interesting is I think Shayna Baszler tweeted out that she's the only person in history to eliminate the field in the chamber. So that's like the same type of aggressive idea there. But for the Rumble, when you're talking like an hour long match, that's wild.
Going in at number one.
You could make me believe that Brock Lesnar can go in at number one. And not throw everybody over and make it to 30. I'm a firm believer. You could make me believe that Stone Cold could do it because he's stunned about every single person that came his way. You could definitely make me believe that Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair also have done the same thing. I'm not sure if you could convince me to believe that Ronda Rousey could pull that off.
I'm gonna say it just like this. If they would have pulled the trigger with that with Ronda Rousey, you would have never had another women's Royal Rumble ever again.
Probably not.
Probably not. Nope.
Literally,
you know what?
29 women entering just to get eliminated by just her. It's like, what story are you telling?
They'd have been like, you know what? Let's go back to the Mae Young Classic. Let's just go. Let's start doing that again. We're not gonna do the Royal Rumble no more. But that is maybe some of the reason, of course, with other things as to why WWE and TKO have moved into a different direction. And so I just thought I'd throw that out there because it was hilarious.
That was stupid.
Speaking of also hilarious, to me at least, Charlotte Hogan is in the news again. And but this time it's a little different. Now, a Hall of Famer said recently in an interview that they would love, well, actually, the headline stated they were begging, but I don't want to say it was begging. I'm just going to say that they alluded that their retirement match, they wanted to have Charlotte Flair be the person to wrestle in their last match. And very funny enough, because of this Black History Month, the Hall of Famer that said this is none other than the former WWE Women's Champion and Cruiserweight Champion, Jacqueline. Jacqueline wants to go out facing the Queen. Courtney, your thoughts on this? On this potential retirement match, and where should it happen?
Oh man,
Where it should happen?
Be honest, Courtney.
Should it happen? Should it not happen? Let's ask that.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I love Jackie with all my heart. Replace her with Jazz because scratch that off because it's just I'm just wrapping my brain like Jackie of all people against the Queen. Come on, like I just have nothing. I have no words. And it's Black History Month, by the way.
Honey, should this match happen? Yes or no?
No, it shouldn't. Hell no, it shouldn't.
Mayor?
Jackie, don't not Charlotte, especially not Charlotte. Like at least Bianca, or like Naomi or Naya or like I don't know.
Mayor?
I'm dumbfounded that it was Jacqueline. I did not know. I did not expect that to be Jacqueline. I was thinking any other name, but easily no. I get why she might want Charlotte from a pedigree standpoint in the last name, but if it's going to be your last hurrah, you want somebody that you have some type of chemistry, or at least somebody that's going to sell for you, sell something for you, and that's not Charlotte.
Very
like
true.
it's not going to look good with her trying to sell for you. So
Nope.
I would hope that while it's in kind gesture, I would hope that she considers some other options.
Deonne?
Yeah, I've been sitting here trying to sort of think about how that match would look, or who else we could possibly pick for Jacqueline, because it'd be dope for her to get like a retirement match. But I don't know if it's Charlotte either. Again, the prestige is there, the title reigns is there, the queen being the queen of the women's division, queen of the women's division. Yeah, I think Jackie could pick someone else, or could. I do like the Bianca side of things, because Bianca sells her ass off every single time she's in there. Make Jackie look good at this point in time too. So yeah, it's I don't know if Charlotte's the one.
A little shaky on that one.
Has advantage too. I think Jacqueline's pretty short too compared to Charlotte.
Yes. Quite simply, this is how I feel.
I'm not feeling it.
And to Jackie's retirement match.
Hey, sit the fuck down, Funaki!
Hey.
No.
But you know what?
Women's wrestling talk.
It's honestly not out of the realm of possibilities, because she's at all these pay-per-views, they're doing like these like legends reunion sort of thing, like sort of like how athletic departments invite, legends back or alumni back. So they're doing a good job in sort of like bringing her back into the fold. There could be something there that they could be working on.
First of all, the last time we saw Jacqueline, she looked like a manager at AT&T. Stop.
I ain't gonna let you. We can't sit.
Hey, y'all
gonna let we're
know,
not gonna,
you know that every time I'm talking,
we're not gonna
showed her.
We're not gonna let you sit here.
Listen,
Stop
wrestling.
it,
All I'm saying is this: wrestling looks like it is behind.
Will, you going to hell?
Will.
Hey, listen, I'm just keeping it real. Okay, we ain't seen her in the ring. There's a whole generation that ain't seen her in the ring since. Okay,
Natalia be opening up the dungeon. I done seen Nikki up in there.
You know what? We're gonna take a quick break, guys.
Hey, yo, you. Yeah, you that's watching this. You sitting on the couch staring at the screen, not knowing what you want to do, like this is an online college.
You don't have that merch no more.
Women's Wrestling Talk has been brought to you by All Caribbean Wrestling. Catch the wave. Go to allcaribbeanwrestling.com to check out all the latest pay-per-views, or go on the YouTube page at All Caribbean Wrestling. Also, go and check out their socials on Instagram at All Caribbean Wrestling and on X at All Caribbean WR1.
not the commercial being discontinued.
Like it's Deadpool,
You just cut off the commercial.
You don't sell them no more.
Oh,
regardless, it's WW Talk Pod, dude.
The whole thing, man. Like, nah,
but that was fun.
Oh my god,
we got new members. They're gonna be like, I ain't seen these shirts up here.
Oh man.
Oh, I still said what I said, but
we ain't got that merch no more.
We got that merch no more.
But where's the commercial?
Just like said, my check is not cash for that. So when it does, we might get us a new one. But checks have to be distributed in order for more work to come out. Just saying.
Simple ass, stand, deliver. WrestleMania, AEW Revolution. Courtney, I'll try to go. It's in LA. We just want simple and we want some butter.
Well, yeah, because your clients, because your clients can be wrestling in Revolution. I mean, I don't see why not. You should not be there in person.
Speaking of which,
we want to watch real women's wrestling.
I forgot. I totally forgot.
But let's move
What
on.
did I delete, Jeffrey? I do be deleting shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do it discreet, but I don't know what you're saying. I deleted.
There's a few things I'll be looking. I'm like,
There's a few things you deleted.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I know who got rid of this shit. But a little more news that I'm sure will make Honey's dimples pop out is the potential return of Mr. Aleister Black himself. Now, even more, the greatest luchador of all time, Dominic Mysterio, gave tremendous reactions of Aleister Black potentially joining the Judgment Day in his initial return to WWE. Now, Honey, we're gonna start with you as you rubbing in the body butter. Thoughts on Aleister Black joining the Judgment Day?
No.
You not feeling it?
No, and no. Absolutely not. If you are going to bring this man back, you are going to bring him back and run it back. We don't need him in Judgment Day, especially this Judgment Day. If this was Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, maybe I'd say there's a possibility of a different story. Not this Judgment Day. I don't see it.
You don't see him, canoodling with the street rats?
Absolutely not.
Damn, that's tough.
Absolutely.
Courtney.
That's not Aleister's style.
Okay. Courtney. Malachi Black. I'm going to go with the AEW name. Malachi Black potentially joining Judgment Day.
Aleister
now. Yeah. I just can't see him being with the Judgment Day. I'm used to seeing him being on his own and doing his own thing. And for some odd reason, when he was in WWE and he stood on his own 2 feet, it was just like, this guy should get some singles gold. This guy can give a good promo. So he needs to be on his own 2 feet with himself. And, well, don't be shocked if he crosses paths with Mr. Karrion Kross.
Okay. Deonne, your thoughts on Aleister Black becoming a member of the Judgment Day?
Yeah, like Honey said, it made sense at the beginning of the Judgment Day, but now they like a street gang almost, man, like a biker gang or something back there, because they don't fit the same aesthetic that they did once before. So, and like I said, the greatest luchador of all time should be the leader of the group now, but Aleister Black coming back in that capacity, I don't think that's gonna. I'm not feeling that.
Aleister Black, when he went to AEW, he went through there and had the House of Black. Why would he? And then shortly after that, around the same time, while forming the House of Black, Judgment Day was formed with Edge, Damian Priest, and they brought in Rhea. So why would Aleister Black go to something that was kind of almost done in reminiscence of something that he was doing while he was on the other side? I don't think that would be smart. And like I said, he needs to be alone. He's the new lone wolf. Sorry, Baron Corbin.
Mayor, your thoughts on Aleister Black potentially joining the Judgment Day?
Absolutely. He'll fit right in. He can be Dominic Mysterio's right-hand man. Carlito got an apple. Give Aleister a pear.
A right-hand man?
I mean, he is the greatest luchador on the planet right now.
He be right next to Carlito, chewing the pear, spitting it out. You got this ain't WWE TKO. The rookie got to walk before he can run.
Y'all got to be
TKO now. Judgment Day.
Absolutely.
Not a pear.
No.
Oh my God.
Oh shit. Not a pear. I am also going to have to agree with everybody else's sentiment. Just because of the shambles that they are in now, especially with JD McDonough gone, whatever the fuck Finn is doing. You really only have Liv, Raquel, and Carlito and Dominic left.
Like,
so it's just kind of like, okay, you can't put, as funny as it sounded, it's like you can't put him behind Dominic. And it's like Alistair's shine is too bright to put him in with this current group that's going on, which also kind of seems like, the Diamond Day. Yes, the Diamond Day. It seems like it's already coming to an end. So you don't want to put him with a faction that's already coming to an end. So I think the solo route is good. And what I'd actually like to see, not only with Karrion Kross, I like to see Aleister Black bring out Demon Finn. And I'd love to see that. Bring the Demon back. Or even the Prince run with Aleister Black would be good. But I think to Honey's point, if this was still Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Dominic Mysterio, and you added Aleister Black to that, then we were cooking with something. But right now, like we said, I don't even call them the Judgment Day no more. It's the Street Rats, in my opinion.
And if anything, if you're going to put him in the Judgment Day, you're going to make him the leader. I don't care what nobody says.
Well, I didn't say all that. I didn't say all that. I didn't say all that.
He's taking over.
I didn't say all that.
Mutiny if he joins.
I don't see it.
But I'm not putting him in a faction, especially if he just got out of one. He's a solo star and he deserves that.
Yeah, I would much rather keep him solo dolo for now.
No man is that much all ain't good.
Now our final story. I use this picture. I use this picture for a reason. Best women's division in NXT. Thriving, shining bright, and just, of course, y'all know what it is without me getting too much into trouble on WWT. But it's not all shiny and gold on the other side of the WWE, as we have kind of gotten back to that same reports that we've been giving that the WWE women's division on Raw and SmackDown are very frustrated with the current bookings that have been going on. Now, Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful had clarified that a lot of people were saying, it's not like 2022's bookings at the time, which is another reason why I brought up the Ronda Rousey thing. But there has still been a lot of frustration that has been brought to creative's attention as far as the booking that has been going on for the women's division within Raw and SmackDown. Now, even with the titles being added, there's still a lot of frustration going on. So I just want to get y'all thoughts as far as from wrestling fans and what you've been seeing from with such a dominant roster like NXT and what they've been doing as compared to what we've been seeing on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. Is there a case here for that, or do we just need some time for this cooking to be able to start to get the women's division rolling, kind of something similar like NXT? Courtney, matter of fact, Honey, let me start with you.
I'm gonna say this is road to WrestleMania, so a lot of things are always hectic and chaotic around this time because everybody wants to get to that card. Just like NXT, just like Raw and SmackDown for WrestleMania, NXT, same thing for Stand and Deliver or Takeover or what have you. You want to get to that card and get to that spot.
So to be fair, this has been kind of an ongoing thing before we started with the road to WrestleMania. So even two examples that can be given, for instance, Natalya. There was supposed to be, when Natalya re-signed her contract, there was a lot of creative that was supposed to be going to Natalya, and now you don't really see her, as well as another example, Lola Vice. A lot of creative was supposed to be put behind her, and now she's off the show, as well as folks like Thea Hale. And, of course, another of being Zelina Vega, especially after Backlash and what she had with Rhea Ripley, and now kind of just being put into the NWO and really not going anywhere. So I just wanted to make sure to just clarify, it's been leading up to that before the road to WrestleMania.
I think it's just one of those things that you got to let simmer and have everyone be able to find their rhythm on the machine. You know what I mean? Like to find their niche. And it's not like any one of these girls aren't capable of doing just that. We had Thea Hale's run with Chase U. The hype was around her. We had I'm trying to think of who else. Oh, well, you have the Meta girls build up. You have Lola Vice, Kaylani Jordan coming into the forefront. There's still a lot of room to be had for the women's division, and there's a lot of fresh faces. There's just I think it's also about what like the hottest stories are. You know what I mean? You're looking at those numbers and you're seeing exactly what it was that what the subject was that they were looking at the time for those ratings to go up. It's give and take. It's a lot of give and take, and it's a machine, and it's just the way way it goes sometimes. But I think that also with all of this being said, I think that the women's division, especially with how the closeness that they have, and how they've said numerous times, the locker room has changed now. It's different. I feel like with Shawn Michaels being the way he is, he should be able to lend that ear and be able to listen and hear out their thoughts and see what kind of ideas they come up with. I know there's also a lot of buildup with bringing more in. You got the NIL, you got
no. NXT is good. We're talking about
just for clarity, these are women on the main roster.
That's
voicing this disgruntlement.
So I got confused.
Yeah, no. We were saying that one's thriving. That one's great. We're talking about as far as like the roster for like the women in for Raw and SmackDown. That's why I took the picture down, because like I may have made that confusing.
Well, all right. Well, that's different then, because if I have to watch another Liv Morgan versus Rhea match again, I'm gonna lose my shit. So that I understand. Though it was the hottest storyline all throughout last year, aside from Drew McIntyre and Cody finishing the story and everything like that. They were Rhea and Liv were dominating, and they had Dominic turning with the double turn and the kiss at SummerSlam. It was great. But if I have to watch another one of those matches, so that I understand that there's some kind of conflict as far as what they're trying to do. Then you had this Royal Rumble situation with Charlotte Flair, which I'm sure which would add to a lot of the frustration, I would think, as well. But I don't know, man. It's tough to say, because I'm not in those locker rooms. As much as we'd love to be a fly on the wall in those offices and in those rooms and stuff. I mean, it's just more so about being able for each superstar to be able to find their rhythm or find something that they could work with. Like, I feel like there's a lot of times that there comes a time where you need to collaborate. Even if you may or may not like them, you just got to respect their craft. You know what I mean? I'm sure there had been many times in the past where there was a lot of superstars. I'm sure obviously Shawn and Triple H didn't get along on everything, but when it came to business and they had to go to business for each other and do what they had to do, or Shawn and Taker or whoever, whatever I think it's just I think a lot of the storylines with the women from last year have kind of like died down a bit. And so it's like, all right, what's the next hot thing? And I think what could be able to remedy that and pick that back up would maybe be the return of Jade. But as far as everything else, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, I think, like I said, all these women have talent. They're all capable of finding a spot and getting a spot, but you got to tone it down a notch with some of the old storylines and give some room for other superstars who haven't really had shine.
Yeah. Courtney, your thoughts on the frustration of the main roster of women's division?
There's just a lot of angles, because we don't know what happens in the creative room. We don't know what happens in the locker room. And I mean, Honey pointed out, Liv versus Rhea, also Nia Jax versus Bayley. That was a storyline that happened throughout last year. And it does get a little bit repetitive, because there are some ladies I kind of want to see really get into the fray, such as a Selena Vega, a Zoe Starks, a Lyra Valkyria, even my own Poison Little Pixie, Candice LeRae, starting to get some TV shine. So it's really kind of thinking like, what storylines make sense, and some storylines that don't have to involve the respective belts. I know they just have two of the belts, like the United States title and the Intercontinental title. So it's just kind of finding out what storylines will make sense in the longevity, so at least every single female gets their shine on. But it's a very toss up. But all the ladies are capable of talent. All the ladies are capable of doing it. And it's just kind of finding their own niche and really thinking about, like, because as I mentioned, the promos are very hard to do, but some of them can do promos. And I'm happy some of them are starting to get the confidence to really do promos on their own and stand on their 2 feet, proving that I could be the one leading the charge.
Deonne, your thoughts?
I think maybe, just a thought, maybe WWE creative for the main rosters like us, we're just waiting for the NXT women to get called up. Like, I feel like they have so much down there that things are on hold on the main roster. But it's not like they're coming next week. It's not like they're coming like to the main roster maybe this year, even with NXT being on CW. So I think it's just the prospects of that, because I think that's why it's more entertaining there. Because what do we talk about like almost every week? Who can make the jump to Raw and SmackDown? How long will they be in NXT? We thought Jordan Grace might skip NXT and go to the main roster. So I think with all the other pieces coming in NXT, all the young talent, international talent, notable names, I think we're just I think they're like all of us. I think they're like, we can't wait till we get them. But for now, this is what we got on the main roster. And could they still shake up the main roster? Of course. They've traded, I think, Bailey, and they made some other things happen. Zelina's moved around too. But I don't know if that's enough to sort of position that women's division on the main roster as well as it's being positioned on NXT. If it's not Rhea, it's not Liv, or maybe Bianca at the moment, I don't know what and Tiffany now, I don't know what's left for everybody else on the main roster, because I think we're just waiting for the NXT talent to get called up at this point.
All right. Mayor, your thoughts?
So here's the thing about this, and it becomes a thing where criticism is rooted in some type of reality. Where there's smoke, there's probably fire. And it's the same criticism over Triple H's booking of minorities and people of color, where we don't see African-American performers on PLEs for months at a time. So it's not because it's coming out of thin air. Now, with the main roster women, it's not that there's not women there. It's not that we need more call-ups. There's a lot of talent there. It's the fact that we're not telling compelling or captivating storylines with the roster that we have. Take, for example, what they've done recently very easily with Bailey and Roxanne. That can be done with so many other superstars that are just waiting in the wings, and all it takes is a moment to build that, and you can build fire from there. Look at how easily they've done Trish and Nia Jax and Candice LeRae with just Trish appearing in the Rumble and then saving Tiffany Stratton. We don't need more belts per se. We need more storylines that are layered and rooted in storytelling, and we know this is the storytelling company. You have the tag team titles where you've had the Metaphor Girls come up empty time and time again. But where are your former champions with Casey and Kaden? Why haven't they gotten another shot? Why haven't Pure Fusion Collective gotten a shot? And
well,
they
there's
are
no more
Pure
Fusion Collective anyway.
Well, still 2 of the 3. And it's the same thing where you call up people like Blair Davenport and you have nothing for her. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, former champions. It's like then they just fade away. This is a larger issue with Triple H's booking. It's not that the women are not there. It's that you need those storylines. And what do you need for storylines? FaceTime. You cannot convince me we don't have enough wrestling on TV every day of the week to find a little bit of time there. And we see superstars have to use their own personal time with their social media just to get stories over. So while they're doing that, we need to feature more of that on program. You have 2.5 hours of Raw, 3 hours of SmackDown. You have 2 hours of NXT. You have main event. And now you have Speed. You can tell these stories, but what we've seen is we've allowed other stories to kind of boggle everything down, whether that be Bloodline, whether that be Cody, whatever it may be. It's kind of stepping on the women's division indirectly or directly. So Triple H has to make a choice. Is this a women's revolution? Do you have this golden pond of women that you can feature? Same with African-American athletes, or is it just, hey, we're doing what makes the most money right now? Because you're going to have a lot of talent. They're going to voice their complaints, be unhappy because you do have that talent. And that's how you get contracts running out. That's how you have people who get released. It's because they're just crying for a chance again. We thought we beat this 5 years ago.
Yeah. Before I get on my soapbox, I know Honey has to go and get ready for the Friday night SmackDown watch along. So Honey, if you can, just let them know where to follow and support you, and then when you're ready to hop off, that way you can just go ahead and pop off.
Yes. Don't mind if I do, y'all. It's gonna be a long 3 hours. Find me All Things Wrestling with Honey on all the socials. Find me here Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, as always with WWT Live tomorrow. Kayfabe podcast with the boys should be fun. And wrestling. Yeah, I said all Wrestling with Honey on all the socials. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Gotcha.
And Honey Night SmackDown watch along, in the next 15 minutes.
Yes, indeed.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna be out. I'll see you guys. Feel free to join me if you like as well. Anybody's feeling froggy.
Yes, indeed. Now, let me talk to y'all for a second.
Oh boy.
So let's start with NXT first. Well, let's start with the main reason this is something that's kind of similar to AEW. Power, ego, and pride. Now, the reason why you don't see this on NXT, all of these people are prospects. So they don't have a lot of people like lawyers to linger their contracts. They don't have people where ego has to take into place. There's some there. But again, all of these people are up and coming. So a lot of that stuff starts to die down in NXT, and then the organic process really starts to take a hold as to who's going to be a product that they'll be able to push out and move to the upper roster. And right now, the women are thriving when it comes to that. Now, let's go into the big $1 million to $1 billion machine that is Raw and SmackDown. You have a whole bunch of people that have egos. As much as you've seen CM Punk change, there is no doubt that if he decides he wants to cut a promo and stop someone's match, he has that power to do that. Let's not mention that even if Roman Reigns come, again, not intentionally to Mayer's point, but someone will get bumped in order to be given that time. And I think that also becomes a very bad problem when it comes to being able to book the women's division, because I've seen from them with Raw being 3 hours that you will combine people like Lyra Valkyria, Kate and Carter. I'm sorry if I messed their names up. I do apologize. But former tag team, putting them all together to take on Pure Fusion Collective 3 weeks in a row when all of these women could be featured to do dope work. And to Mayer's point, I do have to slightly disagree with you, Deonne, because you have folks like Ivy Niles who have just been waiting in the back.
Right, they're on the roster.
A 5-star match. But instead, you're deciding that you want to build Rhea Ripley into this juggernaut that no one can defeat. And so you have not focused on anyone else in your women's division. Same thing with some of your favorite shiny toys like a Bayley, now with a Charlotte Flair, and only with Tiffy Time because of the fact that she became a star at NXT. There is a lot of stuff that's going on over there, but it has to do with ego. It has to do with pride, and it has to do with being able to collect dollars. And the problem is you're not focusing on the biggest thing that can make you money, because what people tend to forget, especially in the WWE, is that the biggest consumers in the world are women. That is why Drake continues to be successful, because, hey, you'll buy it for her and then you'll buy it for your sister. Women are the biggest byproduct of folks that will consume content and will buy product. And you are continuously ignoring that because you want to appeal to superstars like a CM Punk, like a Cody Rhodes, that has to consistently go over. Understand it. Cody Rhodes is our champion. Do not need to see him 3 times on SmackDown when there could be a potential match with Chelsea Green. The reason that Piper Niven is not a juggernaut at fucking SmackDown is ridiculous. And the only reason why is because it either has to deal with pride, it either has to deal with ego, and it has to deal with dollars. And if y'all are not seeing the potential in the women superstars you have, that is where we continuously drop the ball. And that is another reason why I see why a lot of people, with the example like a Roxanne Perez, take so long to want to go to the main roster. Why? Because you're just going to get lost in the sauce. To the mayor's point, Blair Davenport went up there, went nowhere. Indy Hartwell won the NXT championship and then got bumped up, went nowhere. You have Candice LeRae, who has just as much history as Bayley, and you're just now making her the speed champion or putting her here. But you have this lackluster drywall of a DIY tag team that you keep trying to throw in our face rather than giving us the Street Profits. So it's a lot of creativity that I think has to go down with ego, pride, and favoritism that they are going to need to change, especially with the fact that you have such a heated division in NXT that is going to potentially have to come up. And I'm telling you this now, if y'all fucking drop the ball with this NXT roster, with Jordan Grace, Julia, Stephanie McCurr, Jada Parker, Lola Vice, all of these women who can close out a PLE, which again, you still have not done on the main roster yet. Which also poses the other big question. Why aren't your women closing out a PLE? Why are you scared to pull the trigger on that? Because it has to deal with one of those three, either pride, ego, or dollars. But y'all can decide in the comments below, because I don't want to stay on this soapbox for long. But I will, just to Mayor's point, if you see smoke, there must be a fire over there.
That's part of the reason why people like Ciampa waited so long to accept a call up, because he felt like he would get lost. And what did they do? They put him in pink and green and paired him with the Miz for like the first 6 months.
Exactly. You need to entrust in your new division, entrust in the next step. And again, I don't know if it's creative or if it's folks there that just don't want to let it go. But after seeing Charlotte Flair win the Royal Rumble, it sort of seems like it's still kind of those same things that was there during the McMahon era.
It's crazy that we are supposed to believe that Charlotte she's going to break Cena's stuff. And I get that, whatever. But it's like she can't have her own main event outside of Becky and Ronda.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
she should be main eventing shows hand over fist if we're supposed to believe she's that strong of a character.
Yeah. And even
she should be bringing everybody along with her too. Like, hey, like what Becky was doing. Like, oh, I want to fight this person. I want to fight that person. Bailey does it right now. I want to fight this. I want to fight Candice LeRae today. Yep. Like, we need more of that. More of, if you want to call them the elder statesmen of the women's division, just having dream matches, if you would.
That's it. And again, so many less segments. Like, bro, I do not need to hear CM Punk speak 3 times on Monday Night Raw. I do not need to see Jacob Fatu. As much as I love Jacob Fatu, I do not need to see him multiple times on SmackDown. When you have enough of a roster to be able to fill that stuff. The fact that Chelsea Green just now got a match after becoming U.S. champ, and it's a qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber, which we knew she wasn't going to win. How are you turning your first U.S. women's champion into a jobber? That makes no sense to me.
Same thing with Lyra. Like, why would you put her in a match against Bailey?
No, why would you put? Honestly, I don't know why you run the Dakota match back so soon. I think that puts the pressure on them strapping up Dakota.
And then too,
scary thing.
And why is it not at a PLE? Why is it on Monday Night Raw? Why do you never feature these titles there? These are the things that you should be looking at. These are some of the things, if you're going to have your main titles go into PLEs, then let that close out the show.
Yeah, Triple H lost a little bit of his black and gold touch, if you will.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and it's due to the favoritism and the money side. And that's why I say I'm not going to fully throw it on to him, because I know dollars matter. But you're missing a big point of the fact that it's been since Tampa that we've had women main event WrestleMania. Correct? And I could be wrong on that. But, and if so, please correct me. But the last time I remember someone closing out the night was Bianca and Sasha. And we have not had that since. And that is a big issue, especially with all those women you have sitting back there. As much as I make fun of Natalya, you made Natalya the wrestling machine. That woman would put so many people over and tell so many dope stories, rather than me seeing Rhea beat Liv 800 times. And then you're not even letting Liv elevate wrestling wise. Personality wise she did, but wrestling wise And now you've pinned Rhea into a corner because she seems unbeatable. And that no one is going to take this crown from her unless they cheat or get hurt.
Yeah, in the UFC sense, Natty is like a gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
So your young talent should be feuding with her off top when they come to the main roster.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about that, Dylan, because I mean, if you saw the post Rumble when they was booing the hell out of Charlotte on Raw, I don't think they can use that as a main event for night one.
It's not gonna close out night one. It's not gonna close. A championship is most of the gonna close out night one, and for what it's seeming like too, it's gonna be the triple threat match with CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins is gonna close out either night one or night two. If anything, Charlotte and Tiffy might open the show.
Oof.
So that means Rhea's going to face the winner of the
chamber.
The chamber, yeah.
And the only two that's really viable is Roxanne and Bayley. Unless Bianca and them lose the belts.
That's what I'm.
Honestly, if you want a women's main event, it has to be Rhea and Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
But the build, man, that's a short build for something that they've stayed away from for a long time.
Yeah,
it can work just because they strayed away from it and because of the fact that she had that she won it like that. But the problem is that you now have to build that week after week leading up to Mania. And because you got this Jade Cargill story lingering in the back,
it really just goes off because Bianca's undefeated at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be Rhea's mountain to climb.
Yeah. So again, it's not that there's not people there to build stories. It's just the fact that y'all are not giving them a chance to do it. The fact that we have not had no specialty matches from any of the women.
Yeah.
And then we probably should get to a point where Money in the Bank should not be a PLE anymore. It should be Mania, and that way you can have a women's Money in the Bank instead of the Dre tournament for men and women. That way you have a showcase, a specialty match for them. And we might be getting to a point where there could be an all-women show somewhere during the week. They can at least pilot it. It can be just digital, kind of like how we have the deal with Twitter with Speed. You can do Facebook Watch like you did with the Mixed Match Challenge, and it'd be an all-women show.
Honestly, swap out main event and call it Evolution. And it's a weekly thing. It's like where the women are dominate now. Build a whole thing just like NXT and let it come on Thursdays. And then there you go. You good to go. And it gets us to showcase that, and you can still see why they need to be looked at. Because I'm sorry, screwing over Io Sky the way they did, I'm like, that's ass.
That was really messed up.
That girl deserved to be in the chamber, and now y'all giving her a match Monday night after Elimination Chamber. I'm like, yo, that is WrestleMania bound at best, and y'all doing it on Monday Night Raw.
Are we to a point where they have to put matches like that on TV to keep you around for 3 hours? Because I don't know if you
they have to for Netflix. I've
for
noticed
Netflix.
that they're doing that for Netflix. Just like every town they go to, they have some celebrity or athlete in the crowd that they pan to. I think that's special for Netflix for now.
I don't think you can do squash matches anymore. Really? Could you get away with doing squash matches?
No, you can, but the thing is, it's like there's a lot of shit you're not focusing on. Like it's been 2 months since Braun Breaker's been in a match. How is your intercontinental champion? Yeah. How's your intercontinental champion not focused and he's in the crowd during Monday Night Raw?
We gotta strip that title off of him.
No,
he hasn't defended it. We gotta strip that title off of him.
Yeah, but it's like make him the focal point. It's not like he's not going to put on.
That used to be the thing. Defend or vacate.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, y'all not even letting these people defend. It's like, yo, I like seeing the whole Gunther and Jay thing, but it's like I don't need to see the World Heavyweight Championship defended on Raw, nor do I need to see the Women's Championship defended on Raw. Because if that's the case, do the WWE Championship on SmackDown, but you're not gonna do that.
See, they can learn. It sucks because they can learn a lot from NXT's format, where it's like nobody's on the show weekly. It's like every other week. It's like I'm on weeks 1 and 3, you on weeks 2 and 4. So like, and this is just an example I'm gonna throw out there. I love Penta. We don't need Penta every week because we gotta let somebody else get that FaceTime in there too. We can let Braun run for a week, stuff like that. That way you're building it to where they eventually clash. Same with Gunther. Like you can do things in offsetting weeks so you can tell more stories.
And again, all of these cats can get vignettes on the weeks that they not there, because the fact that
I can't remember the last time Karrion Kross been in a match, but he doing promos.
He was doing a promo with Sami Zayn.
Maybe last year was his last.
Shinsuke has not been in a match on SmackDown.
Yep.
Since he defended it against LA Knight 3 months ago. This man has not been seen except in backstage segments where he's creeping in the back, and he's your U.S. champion. What kind of and so we see and to exchange him for what? To see Jacob 3 times on SmackDown?
The U.S. Championship. I'm just gonna start that right now.
At this point,
and again,
we gotta get rid of the U.S. Championship and bring back the hardcore or the European.
At this point, because that U.S.
ass right now.
If Ludwig wins, he needs to bring back the European title.
Need to
he should
bring back the European title.
That would be great.
Even bring back the fucking light heavyweight championship. Give it to Carmelo Hayes.
Oh yeah, the light heavyweight champion.
Yeah, so then that way dudes like Santo Escobar really get to shine.
Yeah, that was a mistake when they did that in NXT. When they had the cruiser and they merged it with the North American with Santos and Melo. Yeah, that was perfect for them to have another title. But now we have the Heritage Cup, which still hasn't caught on with the stateside.
Yeah. That's what I'm just like, it's so much there. I just think it's the fact of you're trying to appease bringing in a new audience. And so you want to keep using your big pieces. And it's like, I get that. But you have a lot of potential there that can really build that you're just not using. Like, again, I know Zelina Vega is probably this small, but there is a huge following behind her that y'all are ignoring. And even from a money standpoint, there are hundreds of millions of dollars y'all are missing out on not utilizing her. From the video game standpoint, from the anime standpoint, the fact that we have not had a sponsored match by Crunchyroll is ridiculous. The fact that y'all haven't worked it to where she's a voice on Dragon Ball Z, you missing out on so much money. So much. But it is 5:00. And SmackDown, we have no idea what's going on. I'm sorry for running it over. You know what happens when they give me the helm. But this was just a topic that I thought should be talked about. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Courtney, please let them know where they can follow and support you.
They can always find me here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on WWT Live. You know, Wednesday, I do my watch along for Dynamite every Wednesday. You get to hang with me and go through the play-by-play for Dynamite. You can also follow me on all my socials at CourtneyNJ11, where if you didn't, my reaction on my client Tony Storm making history, I posted that on my reaction. So feel free to check me out on all my social channels.
Yes, indeed. Deonne, please let them know where they can follow and support you.
Yeah, All-Star Fandom Show on TikTok and Instagram, and over on YouTube as well. Finishing out our February Fandom of Love series, and then next 1 month is our brackets for fandoms, or a little March Madness thing. And then we got Daredevil dropping next month too, so we'll be doing recaps. We'll be doing recaps and stuff. I think March 4th.
March 4th is when it starts.
We'll be doing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, reviews and recaps for that. After, if y'all want to hop on, just let me know. That's in the link.
Do that because I ran through that Cobra Kai last week.
Let me tell you,
Wednesday night I ran through all 5.
Ran straight through the last 6 episodes. But Mayor, where can they follow and support you?
I don't want to be followed on my socials. If you guys know the socials, you do the thing. But you can follow my tag team partner at _J Della. Send him all your hate mail. Tell him to show up. Tell him we got podcasts to do because it's WrestleMania season. Of course, I'll be here Monday night for the Monday Night Raw watch along. You can join me there. And I will be doing coaching classes this weekend for our fearless leader, the real TK. So we don't end up with another 416 story come next week. So she got an earpiece and I'm going to be in her ear
Gonna be
on
hiding behind a
Instagram
bush
all
over there.
weekend, letting her know what to say in her encounter. So like, follow our journey on Instagram.
Yes. Y'all can simply find me at Yam Yam Bigelow. And you see Tuesday, you know why. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But thank y'all for checking us out here on WWT Live. We already know Honey is getting ready for the Honey Night SmackDown. It is already live. So please go over there, check out the watch along, because there's going to be an incredible SmackDown tonight. As we got Tiffany Stratton taking us on Candice LeRae. The final boss is here. So thank y'all. We hope y'all have an incredible weekend, and thank you for checking out WWT, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.